is CTV News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. The clock is now ticking toward a possible paramedic strike in Windsor-Essex. CUPE has set October 5th as the deadline, with emergency medical services facing a potential reduction if there's no deal. The county is asking the Ontario Labour Relations Board to reconsider how many paramedics would remain on the job during a strike. Meantime, CUPE says it's exploring labor-related charges, alleging two county councillors approached paramedics and tried to sow dissent. The county denies any bad faith bargaining. Another bargaining date is set for August 24th, but the union says the county hasn't confirmed it will attend.
I would always tell my members that I was cautiously optimistic that we would get to a deal. I no longer have that optimism. I think right now it appears as though we're headed towards a strike. But again, that's why we set that deadline so far in advance. So that way we had plenty of time for all parties to realize the significance of the moment that we're in, to get back to a deal.
A suspicious vehicle call in Leamington ended with an impaired driving charge. OPP say officers checked on a vehicle on Wilkinson Street around 3:30 Monday morning. A 33-year-old Leamington man now faces 2 impaired driving charges. And it was far from the only impaired driving case police dealt with in Windsor. 7 more drivers are facing charges, including several stopped by CBSA officers while entering Canada. Police also responded to people passed out behind the wheel and one driver who nearly backed into a pole. All 7, between 24 and 44, were taken to headquarters, where police say they failed breath tests. And Windsor police confirm a man is dead after a motorcycle crash on Riverside Drive East. Police were called to Riverside near Ford Boulevard early Saturday morning. Investigators believe the rider was traveling at high speed when he lost control and hit a utility pole. He was rushed to hospital, where he later died. Riverside was closed for several hours, and police are asking anyone who saw the crash or who has video to come forward. The victim has been identified as 39-year-old Rico Capocci. His family tells CTV News he was the father of 9, and his sudden death has left those closest to him devastated. From the road to a close call at the ballpark, a foul ball at Micmac Park sent a spectator to hospital this weekend after it flew from one diamond into another. She's expected to be okay, but the incident is renewing calls for more safety netting. CTV's Bob Belichico has the story.
Parents will warn you. You say it's coming over, but sometimes you can't duck away.
That's what happened this past weekend at Micmac Park. A line shot foul ball sailed over the fence at John Ivan Diamond 2 and struck a spectator watching a game at Diamond 1.
Hit by a ball in the back of the skull. Was taken away in an ambulance. I guess she was throwing up a lot. She had to have a CT scan.
According to Rod Droulard, president of the Windsor Wildcats Fast Pitch Association, the woman is fine and now back home.
Definitely not the only one, but definitely the worst one so far. And we hate to see anything else happen that's even worse than what we had this past weekend.
Droulard says he has had discussions with the city about adding safety netting over the dugouts.
I've had a few letters sent to me from the teams, and a lot of people with a lot of conversation when they see me. Just all the fly balls that are coming, and it's not safe.
Droulard says he would like to see netting like this, found at Micmac Park along Malden Road, installed. This player alone had back-to-back foul balls Sunday, disrupting another game in progress. At the same tournament, another young person was struck by a foul ball, but wasn't injured.
It's dangerous.
4 diamonds back onto each other at Micmac. A ball can easily enter the field of play.
The city could really work on putting netting over that quad, because it's a danger zone.
CTV News reached out to the city for a response, but did not hear back as of news time. The Wildcats hosted 242 teams over 11 fastball events in a 6-week span this summer.
It's a lot of tournaments, a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun as well.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
From an unexpected hospital trip to an unexpectedly closed business, customers left holding Aesthetica Day Spa gift cards are getting some help from other local businesses. The Lakeshore Spa closed without notice last week, leaving some customers out hundreds of dollars. CTV's Chris Campbell has more on the fallout and the businesses now stepping in.
The signs went up and the doors closed without warning. Now, customers who were left holding Aesthetica Day Spa gift cards are trying to figure out if they'll ever get their money back. Tula T was one of them. She says she had about $400 in gift cards and went to Aesthetica late last week hoping to use them.
So when I went on Friday, It was around noon, I guess, and the windows were all papered up. There were signs saying closed permanently.
T says she's been unable to contact the business since, and while customers have expressed frustration about what happened, the OPP tells CTV News it has not received any formal complaints relating to the former Aesthetica address.
Well, it's a little bit unprofessional, to be honest.
The closure has also prompted other local spa owners to step up.
Actually, it was heartbreaking news for us because we started there to be aestheticians, so many of us from here.
The owners of Pure Day Spa in Tecumseh are offering to honor 25% of the value of Aesthetica gift cards. Several other local spas are doing the same or similar.
We'll try our best to accommodate as many people as we can, and it's important for the community to step together, to hold together.
And that community connection is something customers say sets Pure Day Spa apart.
They are the heart of Tecumseh community and beyond. Obviously, they have other spas, and that's what they do. They have community and connection.
For customers like T, the offer is some relief, but it doesn't make up for the full value of the gift cards they purchased.
I just think it's such a blatant disrespect to people who, gave them their hard-earned money.
The Ontario government says customers with gift cards from a business that has closed have limited options. If the business closed because of bankruptcy or financial difficulties, the province says assistance may be available through a trustee in bankruptcy. In the meantime, T says the experience has made her think twice about buying gift cards from small businesses.
It makes you hesitant to buy gift cards and support small local businesses when this is potentially the consequence.
CTV News has attempted to contact Aesthetica multiple times over the last several days, but have been unable to connect with staff or owners. Chris Campbell, CTV News.
And after all the talk of tariffs and tension, it turns out Americans still seem to like us. A new Angus Reid survey finds nearly 8 in 10 Americans have a favorable view of Canadians. The results come as Michigan Senator Alyssa Slotkin visited Windsor today and had a similar message. CTV's Michelle Molesky has more.
Do you think Americans dislike Canadians?
No, hell no.
Democratic Michigan Senator Alyssa Slotkin came to Windsor Monday via the new Gordie Howe International Bridge.
And had a lovely conversation with the Canadian customs folks who were like, look, every American has come over and said how much they love Canadians and how much they appreciate the relationship.
A sentiment that appears to be shared. 79% of American respondents say they have a favorable view of Canadians. 78% said America should approach Canada as a friend or ally.
We've been long friends for many, many decades and centuries, and you realize through conversation that we have a whole lot more in common than differences that separate us.
It was Slotkin's first visit to Windsor City Hall, where they also met with the head of economic development and TWEPI. No agreements or partnerships were inked, but Dilkins and Slotkin are looking at the long-term relationship between Windsor and Michigan.
There just doesn't seem to be an end to some of the madness. And so for us to be able to have sensible conversations with people who are fair and reasonable and sensible, you understand that, there is another side to this conversation.
Those of us who believe in a strong U.S.-Canada relationship have a responsibility to double down and show people here that that's not the only voice and that our relationship is going to be enduring long beyond this president.
Michelle Molesky, CTV News.
The Windsor-Essex Pride Parade brought plenty of color and plenty of people to Ottawa Street Sunday. If you missed it, here are some of the sights and sounds.
It's a tradition for us. We do it as a family, and it's what we do. I have a tickle trunk full of rainbow stuff. We have rainbow chairs. This is a happy time. We should be celebrating all people. We should be celebrating love between people, no matter what that looks like.
I was adopted into a very religious family and they weren't very supportive of it, so being able to come out and just see everybody, it's a very inclusive feeling and it makes me feel very happy.
It's very different seeing different communities or like different organizations like actually like joining in and like celebrating.
I think it's fantastic. I think they went right out this year for them. Everybody is different, and it's nice to acknowledge that people don't have to be afraid on who they are, and I enjoy coming out and supporting everybody.
CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald has your full weather details coming up in 2 minutes' time.
I was so anxious about the poor bird.
An unexpected visitor and a backyard rescue, what to do and not to do when you find injured wildlife. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald is here with our first look at the weather tonight. And Gary, some rainy days ahead.
I agree, and it started off today with some mugginess. We did see some very light showers across parts of southern, central, and southwestern Ontario. For the most part, it was a warm and above seasonal day, and the humidity factor, of course, made it feel even warmer than the ambient temperature. 29.1 degrees reached. We are normally closer to 27, call it 2 degrees above seasonal. That 29 felt like about 35 to 36 within the city limits. The worst weather you can see from this hybrid imagery, satellite and radar. The satellite showing us the clouds, the radar showing us returns. That is precipitation that's taking place, a broad sweep of it in northern parts of Ontario through eastern Ontario into Quebec, and then stateside, right along the Atlantic coast, a wide swath, a squall line, if you will, of showers and thunderstorms. The worst weather is well to our east, southeast, or northeast, but this disturbance that could come and clip the south shores of Lake Erie is a concern. There could be multiple waves in the next 24 hours, I think between midnight tonight and technically tomorrow morning, say pre-dawn, 4 a.m., we could see some rain showers, in particular for our friends in Leamington, Kingsville, Amherstburg, LaSalle, perhaps, a few light showers for Pelee Island. Possible thunderstorms, too. The worst of it right now is projected to stay along the northern coast there of Ohio. If we do see that shower and thunderstorm activity, and in pockets, some isolated cells, they'll be along the north shores of Lake Erie for us. Take a look at the overnight temperatures. The lowest will be for tomorrow morning before sunrise. 20 degrees, feeling like 27. About a 70% chance between midnight tomorrow morning and, say, dawn. It's muggy, by the way, tomorrow afternoon, a high of 28. There's a second round of showers for the afternoon, early evening through supper time. 28, feeling like 34. Take a look at our 7-day forecast. I'm calling for those showers and then a cool down with a secondary wave bringing us more showers, but 25 degrees instead of 28 Wednesday. Thursday and Friday, cloudy, then fair and fair as we look towards Saturday. Mid-20s anticipated for Windsor-Essex and Chatham-Kent from Thursday through to Monday of next week. Sundays, right now, looking cloudy with about a 40% chance of showers. Showers possible on Monday as well. That is a roundup of your 7-day forecast. Travis?
Thank you, Gary. Unifor is back at the bargaining table, this time with General Motors, representing 4,600 workers across Ontario. CTV's John Musselman reports.
It was a symbolic handshake. Unifor National President Lana Payne and GM President Jack Opel take part in a photo op to mark the start of contract talks. The union is hoping to reach a pattern deal with GM based on the deal it reached with Ford last month.
We will be bargaining at all hours of the day, and our job is simple. It's to get a deal that our members can be proud of, and a deal that demonstrates a continued commitment to automaking in Canada.
Unifor represents GM workers in Oshawa, St. Catharines, Woodstock, and at the Cami plant in Ingersoll, which currently sits empty after the electric Bright Drop van production was cancelled. 1,200 workers were laid off.
Oh, yes, we'll do that.
The union is pushing to get a product in that plant. David Kennedy is an automotive journalist with Auto News Canada. He says it is a key factor in these negotiations.
I think we'll get somewhere on there. Cami is the biggest sticking point for Unifor because it's just difficult to come up with a product right now as tariffs press down on the industry up here in Canada and we face some other problems. It's a big challenge to get capacity into that plant.
Unifor's president acknowledges there are challenges, but she says if a company wants to sell in Canada, it needs to invest in Canada. Ford Canada reached a 3-year deal with auto workers in July.
This is a very lucrative market for automakers. It's a $100 billion market in Canada, and it's really important that they maintain that market. And part of maintaining it means that you need to build here and you need to invest in here.
Meanwhile, GM says it's entering these negotiations with profound respect for the collective bargaining process and the critical role team members have played in the company's shared success. Quote, since 2020, we have invested $3.3 billion in our Canadian manufacturing plants, enabling next-generation products that will secure thousands of Canadian jobs for years to come. And our goal is to reach a mutually beneficial agreement that supports our employees while keeping GM Canada competitive for the long term. Unifor represents 4,600 GM workers. The union has set a deadline date of August 21st to reach a new collective agreement. John Musselman, CTV News.
And those auto talks are happening against the backdrop of a much bigger trade fight. Canada-U.S. negotiations are heating up again as Ottawa rolls out new help for the steel industry. CTV's Mike LeCouture has more on the latest push and what's at stake.
As the American capital deals with another sweltering day, trade talks between Canada and the U.S. are heating up. The Minister of Canada-U.S. Trade, Dominic LeBlanc, is coming to Washington in anticipation of more meetings. Canada and the U.S. are in the middle of these trade talks. Meantime, Americans here just want to see the relationship return to normal.
Definitely don't need more tariffs. Anything, get rid of it. And if you want to start off, you can lessen it, but definitely we need to get rid of it.
I think it's horrid. I think it's terrible for our world economy. I think it's bad for Canadian economy. It's bad for American economy.
Others admit they aren't following the movement of every meeting. That's why the Canadian American Business Council launched 2 educational interactive games. One shows Canadians how the U.S. is often the source of everyday grocery items, and the other shows Americans how many states count on Canada as their top customer.
Really highlighting how important and integrated we are has been really valuable.
The CABC also commissioned a study to show the impacts of tariffs and a possible collapse of CUSMA. It shows Canada could see a $271 billion hit to the GDP over the next decade without the trade deal. In the U.S., it would be a $1 trillion loss over 10 years. But keeping it in place could see growth and more jobs.
A successful agreement would also support 137,000 additional U.S. jobs and 98,000 Canadian jobs in 2027 alone.
Burke and industry sources are cautiously optimistic after last week's meetings.
While creating meaningful opportunities.
As trade talks continue, equally complex negotiations are happening over Canada's purchase of new fighter jets and whether or not to buy the American F-35.
The question of an acquisition of that size would normally, obviously, be a point of debate or dialogue between 2 sovereign nations.
While those talks continue, there is a sense of urgency on the trade front. The U.S. has threatened a 50% tariff on a wide swath of Canadian goods if there isn't an agreement within the next 9 days. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Washington.
On the markets today, the TSX rose 77 points. In New York, the Dow lost 61, the Nasdaq fell 85. The Canadian dollar saw a marginal gain, just 1/100 of a cent. Gold added $20 an ounce. Oil is up almost $4 a barrel. An out-of-control wildfire in BC has forced nearly 20,000 people from their homes and claimed at least one life. CTV's Andrew Johnson is in Penticton, where thousands are now waiting to learn when or if they can go home.
Jim Harnden and Tracy Coleman have done a lot of camping in their old van. This time in the Penticton Walmart parking lot is a little different.
We're safe, or as safe as
we're making the best of a bad situation. You know, life gives you lemons, you make lemonade.
They evacuated Friday night along with more than 10,000 others as flames quickly started to consume homes just west of Summerland.
Neighbor's house is burning up.
Families on the frantic drive out trying to register the destruction unfolding right in front of them.
It's like a freight train coming at you, the heat, everything. It's unexplainable.
One person, an elderly woman, died during the escape. In all, close to 20,000 people are out of their homes. That's all of Summerland and part of Peachland, communities in the heart of vacation and wine country south of Kelowna. The BC Wildfire Service says it is throwing everything it can at the fire, despite conditions limiting the use of air tankers. The fire has grown to 156 square kilometers. That's larger than the city of Vancouver. But overnight, expected strong winds did not materialize. Some evacuees are left to grieve the loss of their home.
20 years of building everything we've built to watch it go up in flames in 5 minutes. Just gone.
For Harnden, even these difficult days are a gift. He has terminal metastatic cancer of the spine.
I don't know how much time I've got, and so I just want to make the best out of it.
They're comfortable staying in their van during the evacuation as long as Jim's health holds out. He's been receiving care in hospice, where he says an end-of-life camaraderie develops with fellow patients.
Live together and tell each other stories. This is just one of them.
Their story and those of many others threatened by this wildfire could remain stuck for some time. The fire is still out of control, and officials tell us even a staggered return could be a week off if the fire can be kept away. And right now, that's still a big if. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Penticton, BC.
And from a mass evacuation to a much smaller rescue here at home, a Comber woman found an injured blue heron stranded in her backyard. But wildlife experts say the instinct to jump in and help can sometimes do more harm than good. CTV's Sanjay Maru explains.
I don't know whether it can fly. It hasn't moved.
Beatrice Stacy found an unexpected visitor in her backyard Friday morning. A large bird believed to be a blue heron, barely moving and in the same spot for hours.
I was so anxious about the poor bird.
Stacy says it was her son who first noticed the heron and called for help. When a rescuer arrived, the bird tried to get away, ending up in the ditch.
He gently put the net over him and gently hauled him out, and he was very gentle, very kind.
The heron was lethargic and unable to fly with what she was told was a serious leg injury. The bird was placed in a cage and taken away for further care. Wildlife experts say the instinct to help is understandable for anyone who witnesses an injured bird or other animal on their property. However, proceed with caution.
Don't run up and grab it. You know, it's always a big no-no. Things have different diseases, different parasites.
Because a scared animal can fight back, Jennifer Daly says the safest first step is to call the local Humane Society or Animal Rehab Center, because the correct response depends on the animal and its condition. But while help is on the way, there are things you can do to keep the animal contained.
If it's a young bird and you're waiting for it to be picked up, you're going to keep it warm, dark, and quiet. So the best thing to do is take a box, put it outside with a rag on the bottom, and put them in the box, put them on a low heating pad. If you don't have a heating pad, put it like a rice sock or like a beanie bag, something to keep them warm.
We'll see what we can do for them. Hopefully fix them.
As for Stacy, she left this rescue up to the experts, and she's just grateful someone trained was there to give the heron a chance.
I wanted people to see what you do and other people to know what to do when it happens, because it happens, I'm sure, in the country all the time.
Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
Back-to-back Canadian champs, and this time the Windsor Selects did it at home. The Selects completed the repeat with a 5-0 win over Manitoba at Lacasse Park. Brady Campbell blew open the 1-0 game with a big hit in the 6th. Gavin Campbell, no relation, struck out 5 over 2 and a third innings of relief. The Tecumseh Thunder hosted the national tournament.
This one was big for a number of reasons. Second straight is big, repeat, but doing it at home with everybody here, something we kind of looked at way back in January. And it's storybook. It's great.
Everything you imagined?
Everything.
All right, let's take one last look at the 7-day forecast with CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald. And Gary, it's not really baseball weather for the rest of this week.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, I think pretty good probability of seeing some showers. 70% is what we're rating the probability stat for both tomorrow morning pre-dawn and then again in the afternoon, late afternoon, early evening. Showery and cooler Wednesday, 25 degrees. Look at this, mid-20s Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 6 days where the average temperature over that stretch is about 25, call it 25.5 degrees, right? So we're cooling off. And I think some of us might appreciate that. Rain showers, though, dominate the forecast next 24 to 48 hours. Do travel well under those conditions and, of course, find a way to enjoy your weather. Good night.
Thank you, Gary. Finally tonight, a big bridge for one very little rider. 3-year-old Patrick took on the Gordie Howe yesterday, training wheels and all. His family sent us these pictures from the ride and says Patrick was a hit along the trail. He pedaled all the way across the bridge and all the way back. Not bad for 3 years old. That's our time for tonight. I hope you'll join us tomorrow. For now, I'm Travis Fortnum. Take care.